Previous workshop activities outlined and assessed a country's social protection system. This activity, World Cafe, compares a country's existing and planned schemes with the social protection floor. This helps to identify various policy gaps and problematic implementation issues. The idea behind this activity comes from the French cafe culture.
In France, we have cafes, yeah. So a cafe, you have a cafe manager, yeah? And the cafe manager sits in the cafe the whole day and listens to the clients. And the clients, they tell to the cafe manager many things. And so then usually the cafe manager, they like to repeat what they have heard. And there's a lot of gossips.
In this session, 4 make-believe cafes are formed in the room. Each one represents a specific guarantee.
So the 4 groups are Cafe Health, which is here. Then we have Cafe Elderly and Disabled. We have Cafe Children and Cafe Working Age and Maternity.
Each cafe is headed by a manager who stays in the cafe. Participants are organized into 4 groups. Each group spends 15 minutes at each cafe. At the cafe, they share their experiences and discuss policy gaps and implementation issues for that specific guarantee.
Would that not be a policy gap?
This group will move, go to another cafe maybe, and the cafe manager, another group will come to the cafe, and the cafe manager will start gossiping and explaining what the previous group has said, so that the knowledge of the second group is enriched with the experience of the first group. And then the second group will share their own gossips and whatever, or ideas, etc. And then the cafe manager will capitalize on that and share it with the third group. And like that, it's a way of sharing knowledge and also learning from the others.
With each group that visits the cafe, the manager makes a list of the policy gaps and implementation issues that were discussed by that group. At the end of the game, the manager then consolidates these lists into one. They then are given 3 minutes to summarize the issues which were discussed at their cafe.
In many countries, the policy on social security and benefits cover only children whose parents are working in the formal sectors. So those who are in informal sectors are not covered.
World Cafe allows us to see the various difficulties in raising programs in social protection, not only from our country, our perspective, but also from other countries.
We actually get to know more about the situation of the 10 ASEAN countries in a very short time, but then learn a lot through other people's experience who go through each cafe. So if you look at the technique itself, I mean the training techniques is also excellent. And so I think it facilitates the discussion and sharing and learning in a very quick way, but also lots of fun.
This activity allows us to pinpoint where intervention is required to close the gaps in order to complete the social protection floor.